Okay. So hi, you're me from Athletics Africa, and it's good to meet the global product manager for Adizero from Adidas. Hi. So maybe can we meet you and can you tell us about your role and who you are and what your role is in Adidas?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Charlotte Heidmann. I'm the director for the Adizero franchise, so focused on everything road racing, training models for the races, and also the track and field competition. I've been with Adidas 10 years, 7 years in running. I've worked on many other franchises as well that we have in our range, in the overall running range. And now I'm super excited to be here and represent the Adizero side.
Okay. So basically, Adizero is one of your main products now, and the impact is felt with some of the increased time from athletes, especially from Africa, on the track, and a lot of records, especially world and cost records, have been set with this shoe in recent times. So, what are the key components of this shoe that kind of have made the difference, and that probably have led to increased times in the last, say, 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, in the last 5 years, the running industry has developed or evolved very fast. It's a big competition when you look into the different brands. We can only do everything from our side, and we are super excited that last year we've introduced our lightest racing shoe ever, which is the Adizero Adios Pro Evo 1 with 138 grams. This is a shoe where the focus was very much on Africa. We tested with a lot of Kenyan athletes. I actually hand carried the first prototype of the shoe to Kenya to test with our athletes there. And as said, everything, the big question within the space of Adizero and competition is always what's next? What's the next innovation that can make the shoe even better than it was before?
Yeah, so right now you have quite a lot of athletes from Africa on your books. And how has that been for you? And what are the kind of future prospects in terms of are you going to increase your presence in Africa? Or
I can't specify on that because I'm not, I'm the global product manager, so I cannot specify on Africa specifically. Everything around athletes is a sports marketing topic, so I'm not responsible for that. I'm only responsible for the product that is being worn by the athletes.
okay, so in terms of the product itself, how has that been for you in terms of um, your feedback from the athletes that have used it, both on the continent and globally? How's that been over maybe the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, it always depends on what kind of product we're working on, right? If it's the pinnacle racing model of the Adios Pro Evo 1, then we test a lot of with the Kenyan athletes, for example. But if it's on track and field, we go to Florida to the group that trains there with, for example, Noah Lyles represented in that group. If we have a model which is maybe more for a broad range of consumers, we test with athletes all around the world, but we also test with a lot of consumers. If we focus on just the athlete testing, then for us it's super important because it is kind of a loop of how we test, right? We send them a sample, they test and run in it, they give us feedback, we adapt to the feedback, we make the shoe better, we send them a new sample. So it's a loop, constant loop, until both sides, the athletes and also us, believe this is a better shoe than the version that we've had before.
So, in terms of your testing regimen, what do you look out for? Let's say, for instance, when you go to like Iten for road racing, what are the things that you look out for with the athletes?
Again, it's very dependent on the shoe, right? If the shoe is focused on lightweight, we need to ensure that the shoe is so light but doesn't sacrifice on performance. Yeah, so if we then have a different shoe, for example the Adios Pro 3, we focus, for example, on the energy return. How does it feel? The athletes always call it push, so how does it feel when they run on the forefoot? Do they get a better transition throughout their run? So it's very specific details that we ensure are better than they were before. So it's very dependent on the model. Sometimes we go with an Ultra Boost. That's more a training model for the athlete, and then less relevant for fast. That's more relevant than for other training sessions.
Okay, so one question I wanted to ask you is, in 2022 at the World Athletic Championship in Oregon, Toby and Musan, this athlete from Nigeria, they broke the world record wearing your shoe. And I think the first one of the issues that came up in the press was one that it was the shoe that was very fast, that kind of like made them run that fast. What was your first impression as a product manager when you saw those in the media?
So I saw it in the media, but back then I wasn't responsible for the track and field range yet. So I wasn't there, and I can't really judge on it.
But do you think the shoe is a factor in how fast these athletes run, or your shoe just to make them comfortable?
I believe the shoe is always an element of the performance of an athlete. Yeah, the athlete, of course, is the main character when it comes to that, but a shoe that works well for the athlete is just an enhancement to make him even faster or better. We just saw it with Noah Lyles, right?
Yeah.
Who just won the gold medal. Of course, he's a fast athlete, but he can't run barefoot, otherwise he can't compete with the rest. So the shoe is an enabler in order to make the athlete perform better.
Also, with the athletes that you have on your books, are these shoes specifically designed for them to model around their leg structure and their biomechanics?
We have a team called Athlete Service that take care of the athletes specifically, and they then adjust the shoe to the athlete's needs. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks.
Pleasure.